Let me check this out. This is Monster Hunter Wilds 5 minutes of Charge Blade Hunt gameplay. This still in my mind is like the Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts weapon. It's like the really cool one, but it's like really hard to use. So this is like, I would like to learn how to use this weapon eventually. But you know, we'll see how experienced I get in the game in Monster Hunter World. By the time Wilds comes out, maybe I'll have gotten a little practice by then. But let's check this out.
Hey guys, it's Paradise, and today I've cut down some Charge Blade gameplay from our hands-on Gamescom time. I'm telling you right now, the Charge Blade feels quite different in many ways. And 26 is joining me today because 26 was there with me while we were playing, trying out different weapons, handing the controller to each other, and all that good stuff. It was mostly me that tried to
look at this Sacred getting janked up in the. Whoa!
Yeah, it's just how different it is to get into the SAAD. Like, for me, Charge Blade hitting that big hit with the Super Amped Elemental Discharge is like the marquee thing for it. And there seems to be so many different flows for getting into it. And there's additional stuff to do with the actual sword as well, because we saw like a release slash and all of that additional stuff that goes on top of this new components that they've added to the Charge Blade as well.
It looks awesome. Look how it lights up. Oh, it's like a laser. It's like a laser sword and shield.
On Twitter, like the weapon videos don't really do justice to the weapon. There's so many more like layers to the weapons that we're actually going to use in day-to-day gameplay when we actually get into it as well.
That's what's interesting about the timing of their marketing strategy. So like for Dragon's Dogma 2, when that came out, they put out a similarly sized, like similar in length vocation overview for all of the different vocations in Dragon's Dogma 2. And it was like a minute long, and it was everyone reacted to them, and we were like, "Whoa, it's like awesome!" But it barely touched the surface, or scratched the surface. And they're doing the same thing with Monster Hunter, but like way earlier, like way more ahead, way out ahead of the actual release date. So I think we're like getting like the basic marketing campaign right now. Like, you know, it's like it's got the website, it's got the progressive drip of the just very high level overviews of everything. You get the exposure in the demo at Gamescom, and then I think we're going to get at least another cycle of like more in-depth stuff, I hope. So but because it's I was surprised that they were starting so far ahead of their release date. I thought this game was coming out in like May of next year or something. But you know, now for all we know, it's coming out at the start, you know, of next year. So so this is why DD2 have so little developers. They've all gone to Monster Hunter. Maybe. When they start spoiling the roster, we're close. Okay.
Yeah, we were kind of debated with those weapons. Yeah. There is so much more and different like combo strings and entire almost mechanics that were not shown in those weapon videos. And you're totally right, and we will talk about the SAED soon. But I also want to shout out the Savage Axe mode, or the Power Axe mode, is what I think it's called at least now. And you can just see there as well.
The axe looks awesome.
Files on top of files, and it didn't really explain anywhere exactly what that did, I don't believe, but the Savage Axe mode is very different now. I was practicing in Iceborne in preparation for this, and from my experience, it seems to play very differently. It seems like what it essentially does now is prolong your files while you're doing Axe mode.
Apparently, the DD2 team and the MH team collaborated for DD2, and they probably brought back some things to Monster Hunter. Yeah, that's actually how I got into this series to begin with. Is people in my chat like Dylan and Wombo Combo were suggesting Monster Hunter because I enjoyed the boss battles and how animalistic and like aggressive they were. And they knew that the Monster Hunter devs had helped with the boss design in Dragon's Dogma 2. So I'm a huge fan of both series. Yeah, me too. Me too. At least from what I played of Monster Hunter so far, I'm a big fan already. So Yeah, I wonder what they brought back from. I hope what they brought back from Dragon's Dogma is that they really need to stick the landing on the release. You know, especially a little selfishly as a streamer, I hope that, because I want the hype to persist through the release. You know, for the game. Dragon's Dogma, it's not even like the game itself that they botched. It was like the optics, like the PR around it. Like they let it get out of hand and stuff like that. And so then like people lost interest or got confused or were uncertain or whatever. Monster Hunter, I really want them to like stick the landing on the marketing and everything. Even if it's actually buggy, they need to like have a marketing strategy that like just keeps the hype going, you know. So
other than doing like the chainsaw all the time, the chainsaw seems to be more so the actual focus track. But look at this mount finisher as well.
The mount finisher is disgusting.
Oh my! Let me get
also
that.
The actual focus, rather than doing like the chainsaw all the time.
All right, sorry, let me back it up.
While you're doing axe mode, rather than doing like the chainsaw all the time, the chainsaw seems to be more so the actual focus.
Oh my god!
As well.
The mount finisher is disgusting. You went flying.
Oh!
You just got yeeted.
So he just like yanked, he looped it around and then he stuck it in the monster and then like cranked the spinning thing and then pulled it out. That was nasty. Let me see that again. See, that makes me want to learn this. What in the Devil May Cry is going on here?
More so the actual focus track. But look at this mount finisher as well.
Oh no, he like flayed him. He drilled into him. He chainsawed into him.
Also the actual focus track. But look at this mount finisher as well.
Oh my god.
Disgusting. You went flying with that one.
Oh, we went.
You just got yeeted. So we don't actually know what the crown on the files mean exactly, do we?
Not exactly, no.
But we have the information available for us. And
Oh, that axe is awesome.
That does in the future, but we need to dissect everything because right now, after
I'm
playing
sure
the game, there's just so much information to go through. Like I've fell in love with the longsword, but the charge blade is definitely just doing bits. I felt like the guard points are a bit more responsive as well, a bit more quicker to get off. Everything just looked a bit more visually impressive when you're doing stuff as well with the.
And by the way, you can tell they know their fans, like the developers. They know you guys are like gonna analyze the hell out of anything they drop because they dropped like the densest demo on these people imaginable. Like and I think they did that because they know who's gonna be watching. I don't even think they did that like for the sake of the people there because the poor, you know, half of these people are journalists and games journalists and games journalists aren't great and then at video games and then the other half are like YouTubers, like they're like fans turned turned into content creators, and those guys are like you guys in chat, which are like specialists in like one or more weapons, and you're gonna like tear apart the game. So they just came, or whatever they present, you guys are gonna tear into it. There's gonna be Reddit posts, Google Docs, all this stuff. So they just came with the densest thing, and then they said to everyone, "Hey, 20 minutes max for each of you," and just sent us all on a giant scavenger hunt. So, I wonder if the next demos are going to be any different. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll demo the forest area next or something like that. This time the nighttime looks so desaturated versus daytime, which looks gorgeous. I think I can imagine this being good when it's in 4K on your actual computer. It might just be like the way that everyone's recording the footage. Because when I watched them like fight Ray Dow, especially, I was like, okay, this is a lot cooler than I thought it was. But even still, the transition to daylight is it's like stunning. It's kind of like mid-fight, like this thing getting lit up by like the daytime lighting is like, it just looks beautiful all of a sudden.
Charge blade.
I'm saying about I know we're talking about charge blade here, but you're saying about falling in love with the longsword. I gotta say, Hunting Horn, which I
Hey, Forest Raider, welcome to the stream.
There are so many different things with Hunting Horn as well that were not showed anywhere, and I think will be massive for Hunting Horn mains. But going back to charge blade, let's talk about the SAED because that is the
more good things said about the hunting. More good things said about the Hunting Horn. So
let's talk about the SAED because that is the big, like you say, marquee thing that you kind of want to pull off. And we didn't get a lot of practice time in and it didn't really hold your hand anywhere when it held, like, basically the path to get to SAD is different now. It's like the same normal combo, but instead you go with a regular amp element discharge, then you can go into super amp element discharge or a
SAD is that's the discharge, like the lightning blast that you do, right? I want to see Wilds' volcano region. That'd be crazy. Hope you're enjoying the Monster Hunter Wilds hype. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm stoked.
Amp element discharge, then you can go into super amp element discharge or another iteration by just pressing circle. And if you just press circle, after that you can go into super amp element discharge. So there's these like 3 different ways to go into it, and they're all like different levels of commitment. You can see me basically trying to do it here, but Monster moves away.
Runs off.
You can see me basically trying to do it here, but Monster moves away.
Dude, that
you can see me basically trying to do it here, but Monster moves away.
That is crazy. The movements are so awesome for this. I want to learn this one day.
When loves running off, he just never let us hit.
The normal one swipes diagonally across the enemy and does a few small explosions. My brain keeps interrupting this dark phase as untextured, or interpreting this dark phase as untextured.
The perfect clip in this. You can see
it may just be their recording. I'm not sure.
Like example of it later on in the video where he goes for it and kind of like gets.
Oh, I'm also streaming. I'm also streaming this, so it's a little bit lower res, I think, as well. So. Isn't it a sandstorm right now? It is. There's a bunch of like sand blowing around.
Swiped away or whatever. I don't know if it's actually in this one.
It is. It will be right near the end, but it's like a whiff. However, I'm telling you right now, you like trying to pull off the 3-step SAD is such a long time commitment. And as you've seen throughout this gameplay, this Doshikuma, he loves to just like walk away from you 10, 15 feet and then come back. So when you're trying to land those moves, it's really hard. You can see that the focus strikes get pulled off, which I have to say, I feel like every weapon the focus strike feels amazing. Is super
focus strikes are nuts. Okay, good to know.
Powerful. I think for Charge Blade specifically, it's extra nice.
Was that his focus strike? What we just saw? I guess so, right?
Gameplay. This Doshikuma,
he focused.
Just, like, walk away from you 10, 15 feet and then.
I got him right in the dick.
Moves, it's really hard. You can see that the focus
rip his balls.
Off, which. I have to say, I feel like every weapon the focus strike feels amazing and is super powerful. I think for Charge Blades...
Also, yes, the game is unfinished. The game could have been made last year for all we know. Well, actually, in the stream today, who's the executive producer that's been in the booth? I forget his name, but he said he's been working on this game for 5 years, which is before Rise came out. So, but... That's what I'm saying is like the ambition, especially what I saw in the demo today. Like the demo today, the day 3. Go look at my reaction video, or just look through the live stream for day 3. It really opened my eyes to like exactly how big it is because I knew it was wide. It's deep too. It's deep. There's like ice caves underground. They showed Ray Dow's nest, like. The game's huge, so this may like need several, it may be like 5 years is cutting it close, because it's really big. And it's like I keep readjusting like my understanding of that in my head the more I see.
Specifically, it's extra nice. You get a proper Savage Axe mode, and when that Savage Axe mode finishes, it like detonates all the rest of the wounds. So just really quick to say, the focus strike, you need a wound there. You then initiate it. For Charge Blade, you do like a sword attack. If you hit a wound, you go into that Savage Axe mode Pizza Cutter, and that then pops like all the rest of the wounds for like damage numbers all over the screen. It's really cool.
When it does come to the...
Did you guys hear that? That sounds crazy. I've seen the Pizza Cutter thing, and so they're saying the Pizza Cutter, when you hit... Let me hear it again.
Wound, and proper Savage Axe mode, and when that specifically... It's extra nice. You get a proper Savage Axe mode, and when that Savage Axe mode finishes, it like detonates all the rest of the wounds. So just really quick to say, the focus strike, you need a wound there. You then initiate it. For Charge Blade, you do like a sword attack. If you hit a wound, you go into that Savage Axe mode Pizza Cutter, and that then pops like all the rest of the wounds for like damage numbers all over the screen. It's really cool.
When it does come to
so if you go into focus mode and you go to attack a wound with that's how you trigger focus strike, and it will detonate the other wounds. Like, so you're kind of incentivized to just put wounds all over this thing, huh? That's kind of crazy. They're definitely aiming for the stars here. God, Charge Blade having all the big moves back again makes me so happy. It looks really, really good. I love how vibrant it is. Yeah, it's switched to daytime now. It's really pretty.
The SAD, we do know that the traditional route of like doing the guard point into the SAD still works, but we don't know if it's the same animation that we see in the trailer with the double spin, the new like animation to get that one to go off. So that's what we were looking for, the new animation. So you can get the traditional SAD animation to proc, but not the new spinning around 3 times where people are speculating if it's a guard point or not. And we didn't even get to test that as well with that.
Let me just quickly say as well, the Savage Axe mode, you don't charge it the same way as you used to.
Yeah.
Oh
you
my
can no
God!
longer just charge it, you either need to hit
Oh my
a certain
God,
guard
it's
point and then
so,
press it into
it's so, I need to see that again. Look at this.
3 times where people are speculating if it's a guard point or not. And we didn't even get to test that as well with that.
Let me just quickly say as well, the Savage Axe mode, you don't charge it the same way as you used to. You can no longer just charge it, you either need to hit a certain guard point and then press it into afterwards, or you need to do the focus strike. That's the way you power up your axe now. That's just something I wanted to point out. But that's our Charge Blade gameplay. Let us know what you guys want to see next.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know. You know, I don't know too much about the details of what they're talking about. I can kind of follow along. It sounds like the combos changed a bit. And it sounds like it gets all the cool combos and is nasty. Is nasty as ever. All I know is what I really know is what I see, which is like the design for this looks so badass. Like, you have to try this, right? This is one that you look at and you're like, I got to try this, you know? I see they really improved the animations. Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. Jeannie Love says, yeah, I've been maining Charge Blades since 4 when it was announced. Yeah, this is one I'm just gonna have to. You know what? It'll be worth it. You know, maybe once I get towards the end game or whatever in Monster Hunter World, maybe I just try it out a little bit. Maybe I take a day and I do a little training day, just to kind of get it. You know. Get situated with it, you know, because I don't want to be in a situation where it's like, I have this really cool weapon and I'm just completely incompetent at using it. So, but yeah, Charge Blade looking badass as ever.